You're not leaving us, you? Because that would just break my heart.
You don't want to go to Afghanistan. What do you want? I mean, you've got to get your kick somehow.
Those are for you.
Do you think he signed the divorce papers?
He was never going to take this line down.
How long are they going to carry on like this?
I'm sure it will settle down.
Well, can't you have a word? You're the only one he listens to.
Divorce is traumatic. But, you know, 1 in 3 marriages.
I certainly don't need you firing facile statistics at me.
Look, my point is, people get over it. They recover, move on.
Well, how exactly would you deal with this? You separate from your wife, you have no contact with her for 3 years, you forget about the relationship, as you say, you move on. And then one day, said wife turns up at your place of work with a silly grin plastered all over a soppy face. She doesn't make eye contact with you, barely acknowledges your presence. Inexplicably, you play along with this for months.
Look, I'm not denying it. Sam has put you in a difficult situation.
Well, I think it's about time the tables were turned, don't you?
Stefan, let's get you up onto the bed. There you go. Gently does it. Okay.
Okay. Can you tell me how you got these?
Chip pan.
Well, they don't look like oil burns. No redness, no blistering.
That's my mum. That's me. That's my dad. You pop the bottle.
You can't drink alcohol in here.
I need it.
No. What you need is for us to treat your burns.
Get your hands off me!
I'm trying to help you. Tess, just try and dress him, stick him in the waiting room, and I'll check up on him when he's sobered up.
Hi, can I get a box of the aspirin, please, and then the puzzle book right here? Terrific. Thank you. How much is that?
Stephanie, you're wasted. You've been wasted for the past 3 days. You haven't been speaking to us.
Pear drops? Pear drops? Who's this? Is he with you?
Yeah, it was my uncle.
Right, who's he been seen by?
He was drunk all over the place.
He's diabetic and hypoglycemic. I don't know how he missed it, Sam.
Oh, maybe the overwhelming stench of cheap booze.
Well, it wasn't enough to mask the smell of ketones.
I didn't pick up on it either.
Hey, Stefan, can you hear me? Oh. Right, can you help me get some cubicles, please? We need a BM and a venous blood gas as soon as possible.
He's my patient.
You abandoned him, Sam.
We were waiting for him to sober up.
I noticed a few things in your bag when you were asleep in reception earlier on.
Photo.
A glucose bottle,
Which actually contained alcohol.
chocolate wrappers.
If I feel a bit heady, I have to have something sweet. I've done it before.
Your blood sugar levels are not good, Stefan. Do you mind if I have a look in your bag? These repeat prescriptions. You haven't been taking your medication for a while, have you? Sugary things may help when you're hypoglycemic, but at the moment you're hyperglycemic, which is the polar opposite condition.
What does that mean?
It means that your body is full of sugar it can't process. Basically, your body's a toxic waste site.
Okay, we're going to have to move you to a high dependency cubicle, and then once you've stabilised, we'll move you upstairs onto a medical ward, okay?
Sorry.
We all make mistakes.
Push him off our face on side up.
Can we give him a litre of saline over the next half an hour, and then let's move him on to soluble insulin, 6 units an hour. We'll need FBCs, Usinese, and repeated glucose in an hour. He'll probably need catheterising as well, sir.
I know exactly what he needs. I spend half my life putting people like him back together again.
People like him? What does that mean?
Patients who fail to take responsibility for their own condition.
Do you think anybody wants to end up like that? If you only want to treat the blamelessly ill or the blamelessly injured, I have the perfect solution for you. It's called Camp Bastion.
I think the doctors have finished with your uncle for the time being, so if you want to sit with him again.
He's next of kin, but so far we haven't had any luck.
Well, that's odd. His nephew was here just a moment ago.
Well, if he turns up, can you get his details, please?
Yes.
Reports of a domestic incident on the summer.
To his GP. Apparently, Stefan was receiving treatment in a psychiatric unit about 2 months ago.
For what?
Alcoholism and depression. Apparently, he was doing very well.
Was he managing his diabetes?
Yes, and then he just dropped off the radar about 2 weeks ago.
No explanation.
No. So, how did that boy know that Stefan was here? He didn't ask you to call him?
No.
Oh. Next week, everything goes back to normal. My mum's coming home.
How do you know?
She texted Leon.
Oh. You believe everything he says, don't you?
Steph.
And you do everything he tells you to do.
Steph, he started dissing my brother. And things are going to get a lot worse, believe me.
And what do you get in return, Danny?
Can I have a chat with you, please?
I'll be back in a bit.
Sit where we were before. You know, if Stefan had gone much longer without his medication, it could have killed him.
Well, he won't make that mistake again, will he?
I know he's had mental health issues in the past, but he's never neglected himself to this extent. What happened?
All I heard, he's got hurt this morning.
I'm not talking about this morning. I'm talking about his diabetes. Why hasn't he bothered to pick up his prescriptions?
He doesn't leave the block.
Why doesn't he leave the block?
Just some kids give people a bit of a hard time.
Are you telling me he hasn't been picking up his prescriptions because he's frightened? That's appalling. That's completely and utterly unacceptable.
I don't know.
Who are these kids? How often do you see him?
Every day.
Right, you go back and sit with Stefan. He's not up to talking to the police. You are.
What?
The situation's got to be sorted out, isn't it? Sam, keep an eye on him.
What?
On that boy.
By yourselves.
It's none of your business.
It is my business. When Leon uses me like a cash machine, when I can't sleep at night for the sound of you lot.
Shut your mouth.
Do you really think he's looking after you, Danny?
I've been looking everywhere for you.
The police are coming. They're coming here.
Yeah, because some idiot dropped the bus pass.
Don't touch him!
What's the man stepping there? You're the only one that gets to mess with my little brother.
The idea that somebody can actually care, innocently for another
You
person.
don't know.
That doesn't
You
register
don't
with
understand.
you.
No one cares.
Hey, what's going on in here? Who are you? Excuse me?
Okay. I'm afraid Dr. Nichols didn't have the presence of mind to keep both boys here, so you're going to have to talk to the police. Are they on their own?
Yeah. Every night for about the last 3 weeks, it's woken me up. Danny crying.
Well, that's when the mother left, is it, 3 weeks ago?
I think so.
How did you get involved?
Well, I tried to talk to Danny. And that's when all this started. I mean, this is the first time they've actually hurt me physically. Mainly it's just been threats and blackmail.
Well, you have to talk to someone about this.
They'll get taken away. Police, social services.
That's not your problem, Stefan.
The last time I was in hospital, I got sectioned. It's a horrible feeling. Having no control. Being removed from everything that you know.
But you got better in hospital, didn't you? I mean, that sort of intervention, it can be unpleasant, but sometimes it's for the best. I don't know what's happened in those two boys' lives, but they've clearly lost their way.
Where's my bag? It was on there. Where's my bag gone? It was on there.
Calm
Where's
down,
it
Stefan.
gone?
It's fine. I'm sure we'll find it.
It was just there, like, it's got a photograph in it. It's got my mum and dad. It's the only one I've got. Where's it gone? It was there.
BCS 15 and no cosmetic.
Is he going to be all right?
Right, okay, let's get a line in for some analgesia. Let's give X-ray, quarter.
Okay, let's get some more adrenaline in. How much for the manager?
200 mils.
Okay, adrenaline going in.
Okay, stop concussions.
Where's Stephen's bag? Come on, he needs the bag.
He's obviously shaken. Can you just hold off, please?
Can you call security, please, Taz? We can't have him disappear twice.
Sounds like there's glass at the scene. We'll need soft tissue films. C-spine films are clear.
What about my leg?
You have a small, undisplaced left medial malleolar fracture. Other than that, cuts and abrasion.
What does that mean?
It means you've been undeservedly lucky. Right, this will hurt.
My leg feels weird.
Broken ankles tend to. You'll need a back slab on this. I'll do the sutures.
What about the soft tissue X-rays?
Nothing.
So, is there anything else you'd like me to do?
I think you know exactly what I'd like you to do. When I'm finished with this, you can dress it for me.
Because I'm a nurse now.
You're my junior.
Feels really weird.
That's because it's got local anaesthetic in it. Right, that was all nice and clean, and now you've got to put your hands all over it. You clean it and dress it now, please.
I'd appreciate it if you didn't talk to me like that.
It feels like something's stabbing me.
Will you stop touching it?
Are you sure nothing showed up in the soft tissue X-rays?
Yes, perfectly.
The CT scan.
With the silent treatment, I can cope with virtually anything he throws at me. But when it starts to compromise my work...
Understandably, he's finding it difficult.
Dylan finds everything difficult. Deciding what he wants for lunch is an ordeal.
What are you doing?
The X-ray came back clear, but I just need to check to see if there's anything else in the wound.
Like what?
I don't know, Leon. You're the one saying it feels weird.
I've got other patients to deal with. This is now affecting not just you, and not just me, but everyone. You have to see it from his point of view.
I've tried. Honestly, I've tried. It's not making it easy for me.
Why should he? The man's in pain.
Has anybody seen... What are you doing?
Sometimes a tiny bit of grit or something like that can cause a lot of discomfort.
Feels like there's a bleed in there.
Well, our senses can play tricks on us. Okay. Have a look.
You might want to look away. It might get a bit bloody. What is that?
A piece of glass from a photo frame. The police are going to arrest him.
I could do with a drink.
You stay here, finish this off. I'll get them in.
He could have harmed his vasculature. He could have bled to death.
Stop it, Dylan.
Why did you take this job?
You know what it's like to lose someone in resus. Imagine what it's like to actually kill someone.
So, in a moment of madness, you carefully filled out an application form and sat through how many interview panels? 4, 5?
I had the world and his wife telling me to get back on the horse. So I could prove to myself I was a good doctor. And the thought of going to some anonymous hospital where no one knew me. Couldn't do it. I needed to feel safe.
So how do I fit into that?
You've always been a bit of a safe harbour.
When the chips are down.
Dylan.
And then when you're back up and running, well, I'm sort of redundant.
I have no excuses.
Not looking for excuses, Sam. I'm looking for the truth.
It wasn't my choice to stay.
Sorry?
The army turned me down.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just...
Don't mind me. Where's boy?
What? Oh. You found it then? Either of your parents still alive?
No. They're both killed in a car accident about 3 months after this photograph was taken.
Oh, I'm very sorry.
I feel like I spent the whole of my life mourning them.
Do you think they would have wanted that? Everyone has a right to a life.
I can't.
35-year-old who was released from H&P Stonebridge City we go now to Superintendent Yvonne Rippon speaking about the death in custody of Wesley Royce.
But I want to reassure everyone, especially the family of the deceased,